It's funny how people's attitudes change in a nice day. I was down at Riverside Park, kind of walking around, and just people that normally wouldn't get along or being friendly to each other. I saw Russ Limbaugh down there with some sluts playing frisbee. That was nice. Saw some pro-life and pro-choice people together cooking up some baby back ribs. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Oh, good times, yeah. Chris is talking about the cancer. By round of applause, how many have either had cancer or nobody has had cancer out there? Bob had it, I know that. I just met a guy, I didn't catch his name, guy Bray, had colon cancer 3 years ago. Last year at this time, I had, it's called squamous cell carcinoma. It was in my neck and my throat. I was like 50 pounds, 60 pounds lighter. I had no hair at the time, radiation burn from chemo. But as of May 5th, cancer-free, so... Thank you, yeah, thank you. And doing this show had a lot to get me through it, It just got my mind off of it. The hour and a half we're here, so it was great. I appreciate it. In fact, it was November, on my birthday, November 5th in 2010, I had to go in for a PET scan of my neck. On my birthday. Who said God doesn't have a sense of humor, So I did this PET scan of my neck, and it turned out I had a 4-inch mass on the side of my neck. And being a comic, I said, well, Doc, if you would have done the full body CAT scan, you would have found an 8-inch mass right about here, Right here, Doc. Got your 8-inch mass right here for you. Yeah. So, it was diagnosed in November. I had a biopsy, and it was a week later I got the bad news. And the first thing I thought of was like, wow, I got cancer. That's great, because I've been trying to lose weight. And... it's always that last 50 pounds that are hardest to take off. Am I right, girlfriends? My only regret was not getting it in the fall, where I with the hair loss and the sunken features and all that. I would have been a great zombie at the Halloween parties, But I got later on in the year. I mean, we could have dug up Michael Jackson and remade the Thriller video, Would have been a lot more realistic this time around. So what I had was called squamous cell carcinoma, and I mentioned it to one of my best friends. He goes, I think that's what my dog has. He had a little dachshund, and he had a growth under his tongue. He goes, I think that's what they call the cancer that my dog has. And my light bulb went on over my head, and well, it's because I turned on the kitchen light, but I had this great idea that, hey, maybe I should go to a veterinarian, for treatment. Probably be a lot cheaper than what I had to pay, And, if anything, I'll get a treat for being a good boy. Who's a good boy? Brian is, isn't he? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, so I was able to wear a lot of clothes I hadn't worn in a long time. It was like from high school. So I was hoping that Nero jackets and leisure suits came back in a style, but not the case. But yeah. In fact, this is a true story, and the person who said this to me is sitting. I'm going to embarrass you here.
I don't care.
Oh, I don't care. After one of the shows last year, I was on the hallway, and she come up to me. She goes, "How much longer do you have?" And I said, "Oh, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to live." What I should have said was, "Oh, thanks for reminding me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6."
Sometimes I like to tip strippers with Susan B. Anthony dollars. Yeah. Just to see if they understand irony. And what do you guys call a stripper with a dream? A cosmetology student. What's a comedian's dream? A gig on Letterman followed by a date with a cosmetology student. Oh yeah, the weather outside's real nice. I liked it. Summertime's coming. Yeah. Woo. Summer's my favorite season. I like to go out to Grand Haven and go out to the beach. I don't really have like a beach body. To be honest, I've been getting kind of fat over the last couple of all my life. I get high, I get the munchies. I just wish they'd make a Big Debbie, because then I wouldn't have to use so many goddamn little ones. Got a couple tattoos. The only thing they got in common is they're both mistakes. Like, I want to get more tattoos, and when I think of all the tattoos I want to get, I realize I'm going to have to get really fat. Need more skin. Yeah. Can I get you guys up? It's crashing. This is great. You guys need to drink more. You guys drinking tonight? Yeah, I'm not drinking. I'm broke as shit. I wish I was drinking. I'm smoking, man. My favorite drink is Red Bull and vodka. The only problem is Red Bull's expensive, and Red Bull makes my pee look like I swallowed a highlighter. Gonna get a black light, a Pink Floyd album, have my own little laser light show. I do believe that alcoholism is a disease, and I'm going to be prescribed medical marijuana for it. It'd be one of the many things that's awesome that you can get prescribed medical marijuana for, huh? Like, people get bad backs and Crohn's disease, cancer, gilded stuff, I'm sure. Like, I want to be prescribed medical marijuana for my restless third leg syndrome. I wish they'd take medical marijuana to the next level and do medical mushrooms. That would be a trip. I don't understand why mushrooms are illegal. I did them once, I fell in love with a caterpillar, and now I recycle. Recycling, it's all part of the green movement. The green movement, or as my grandma would call it, dropping a deuce. That's a hard joke. I do like the green movement though, recycling, saving energy, gas mileage, all that stuff, you know. I think some people take it too far. Like my friend, she's in college, and she said, Russell, I think everything that uses electricity should go solar. Really? How about the electric chair? Because a solar-powered electric chair would work great in a sunny state like Arizona, but in cloudy Michigan, it would be like licking a 9-volt battery to death. To get you ready, they put you in a staticky room and rub a balloon on your head.
When you're famous, you get all these people on your team, and they start doing these jerk-ass things like telling you that you have to have like a function or like a charity that you give to, which is bullshit, because my money's my money, right? But I picked one up. I picked up a charity. It means a lot to me. I got the idea for this charity when I saw Toy Story, and I was just really upset by all those neglected toys. And I felt like, you know, there's probably a lot of neglected toys out there. So I'd like to talk about my second charity. Let's cue the music. Every year, over 300,000 toys are neglected. Kids do things with them that they're not meant to do. Real animals hump them. They lose eyes and stuffing. They're used to smuggle drugs, and these aren't what toys are for. What happened to our childhood, America? Here's some of the stories of these toys. This bunny rabbit can't hear out of one ear. Look at how sad this little bunny rabbit's face is. Look at the size of this monkey's arms compared to its legs. Holy shit. Sing it, Sarah! He's not wearing it ironically like a rapper. He lost his teddy bear eye. Nothing here, just sucks to be a turtle. Slow as shit. This dog was raped. by a real dog. This lion is tiny as shit. Doesn't scare anybody. Nothing here, I just like monkeys. Alright, you can cut it. My name's Ben Wilk, you guys have been awesome.
As a pothead, I like to eat a lot. And one of the things I've noticed that the cuter an animal it is, the tastier it is. Everybody loves to eat steak, everyone loves to eat cow, but has anyone ever tried the cuter counterpart, veal? Veal is delicious. And we all know that chickens are ugly as shit, but we eat those hand over fist. So I'll bet you if I like battered and deep fried a little baby chicklet, maybe like a dozen of them, just like wait until right when it hatches, wait till it's fluffy, wet batter, dry batter, deep fry. You'd be ordering them by the dozens. That'd be delicious. So along the lines of that thought process, I'll bet you a baby koala tastes like a blueberry Pop-Tart. Just fresh born, raw, just, that is awful. So I take it from everyone's little pothead giggles. I have some other smokers with me in the audience. Where are my marijuana smokers? They're all too lazy. They're like, man.
You know, I always wonder what people are thinking when I'm introduced for the first time because, let's be honest, it's a pretty unusual name. But if it helps you all to know, Nardos is Ethiopian for, yeah, this baby's not going to save our marriage after all. You guys, my parents hated each other for years before they actually got a divorce, and they would say terrible things just because, you know, they wanted to spite the other person. And I remember during one of the custody hearings, we were all seated at the table with both sides of attorneys, and my dad looked right at me and said, "Your mother wanted to have an abortion." And I look back to think, God, that's an awful thing to say, because I believe in a woman's right to choose. Came to this country when I was 5 years old. It was 1982, and I thank God every day because it means my tits were spared from being a saggy third world statistic of about this much. Should I say this much? Yeah? I love to bake. Cookies, cupcakes, brownies, you name it. And I love the internet because I can always use it for something new when I feel like I'm a little bored in the kitchen, uninspired. I got pretty stoked the other day because I found a recipe online called Better Than Sex Cake. You guys, I raced to the grocery store, bought all these ingredients, I spent a fortune. Get home, I mix the batter, I pour it into the pan, bake it, let it cool, and I'm here to tell you all that the woman who posted this recipe, not really into sex. You guys, this cake was terrible. It tasted like shit. And I'm frustrated, you know, I was throwing everything out, and then it occurs to me later on, I'm like, maybe this recipe had a typo in it, and she left the word anal out. Because it was better than that.
So I had this relationship in the 90s, man, 6 or 7 month fling with the freakiest, kinkiest, fucking stone cold freak chick. Oh my God, she was a freak. And the only thing she ever wanted to listen to when we were making the love was Sarah McLachlan records. Yeah, fast forward 15 years, I'm trying to explain to my wife why I get a boner every time the abused dog commercial comes on. In the arms of the angels. Oh! Like, honey, no, it's not the visuals, obviously. It's the song and the memory. Well, you know, she did used to beat me with an electrical cord and stuff me in a kennel sometimes, but it was a different time in my life. I'm not that person anymore. There may have been a little pooping on the floor, but I was a bad dog, is what I'm trying to say. I was a bad, bad dog. It's been a month. I'm still traumatized. By applause, who here fucking hates Valentine's Day? Oh my God. Presents and guilt. They don't even stop with the Christmas guilt. They just turn it into Valentine's Day guilt. They don't even miss a beat. They just roll in with these commercials that like, you gotta buy shit for the people that you love or else you're a colossal asshole. It's like they just nailed you. Right every 5 minutes on TV, it's like, you know, every kiss begins with K. Yeah, we get it. We get what you're trying to tell us, don't we, guys? Trying to make us jump through hoops. Because you're trying to make us think that the opposite is also true. No K, no kiss. No K, no kiss. So I'm going to open up BJ's Jewelers. Don't get me wrong, it's going to be a classy place. Only the finest diamonds from De Beers, because in my experience, every BJ begins with De Beers. It just depends on how many of De Beers you got to give to the hobo. I mean, the lady hobo.
I did a show at a place recently, at a place called the Crazy Horse. I programmed that into my GPS, and it took me by my ex-wife's house. Apparently I misspelled horse. I told somebody, I said, I was married 25 years. They says, oh, you were married 25 years? What does that feel like? I said, it kind of feels like being at a strip club without a fucking dime in your pocket. That's what it feels like. Everybody else around you's having fun and getting pussy, except you. You got no money, you ain't getting laid. Fuck that. So where are my drinkers at, everybody? Where are my drinkers at? I like drinking, but every once in a while when I get drunk, I make a little mistake. Turns out to be a huge problem. This ever happened to you? Ever get so drunk you prank call a hooker and fuck the pizza guy? That guy was yelling, I just want a tip. I was like, that's all you're getting. And then I drink. When I drink, I think I'm better looking and I'm faster. I'm definitely skinnier, you know? And I can dance. One time I got real drunk. I was doing that robot dance really good. Come to find out, it was a cop tasing me. I got so drunk one time, got pulled over by a cop, tried to convince him that it was my GPS's fault because he was my designated driver. Cop pulled me over and said, sir, you've been drinking? I was like, bet. When I have to take you to jail for drinking and driving. I said, well, wait, don't I get to try a test? He said, yeah, I'm going to give you the alphabet test. You got to say the alphabet A to Z. I said, what happens if I flunk? He said, you go to jail. I was like, bet. I said, what happens if I pass? He said, you get to go home. I'm like, kick ass, I'm going to be a winner. He says, now you got to say your alphabet. You got to start at A and end at Z. I said, I can do that. He said, ready? I said, go. I got it out of sync a little bit. He said, go. I said, A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, Z. I'm going home, bitches. I'll stop right there and let you know you shouldn't call a police officer bitch. He said, dude, you ain't even close. You're going to have to go to jail. I'm like, 2 out of 3, baby. 2 out of 3. Come on. He says, all right, this time you got to start at D and you got to stop at the letter N. And I said, I can do that. He said, ready? I said, go. Again, I was a little out of order. D, F, G, H, J, K, L, Z, X, C, V, B, N. Bitch, I'm going home. What the hell kind of alphabet do you think you're doing? I said, keyboard. Can you help me to my car? I'm way too drunk to be walking. Jimmy cuts his hair, donates it to Locks for Love, leading to a child failing a drug test in the very near future. Great. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Didn't think that one through, did you? got squamous cell carcinoma, which led me to go home and Google squamous cell carcinoma to see what the chances are I would be the next host of Sunday Night Funnies. I Google it, and I come to find out the leading cause of squamous cell carcinoma is oral sex, which leads me to believe he was misdiagnosed. I had a tough night last night. It was St. Patrick's Day, got into the beer, and this morning was a tough morning, and at breakfast my daughter says, "Dad, haven't you learned nothing good comes from alcohol?" Which I found awful ironic coming from her. She was created through alcohol use. She was. She was. About a week ago, I was doing a show in Rockford, Michigan, and on my way into Rockford, I saw a sign that said, "Welcome to Rockford, a river runs through it." I'm like, why the fuck would they put that on their sign? 37 feet down the road, you encounter the river that runs through it. And I was like, you know what though? Every town should put one factual piece of information about that town on their welcome sign. Like Nuevo, incest is an issue. Now that's information you can use. Next time I'm at the Nuevo gas station bait shop lingerie store, and I put $16.25 worth of gasoline in my car, and I give the clerk $20.25, and she looks at me like I'm a fucking alien. I'm like, oh, that's right. Incest is an issue. Actually, folks, I had kind of what I consider a Nuevo incident. About 6 months ago, I was doing a show in Nuevo. It was a benefit show, and actually it was going quite well. I was 7 minutes into about a 15-minute set, and I turned and I looked out the window, and I noticed a sign. It said, "Preferred Mobile Home Sales." And I made the comment, gee, that might not be the most appropriate name for that particular establishment, because everybody I know that lives in a mobile home would prefer not to. I got a lesson in know your crowd that night. We were no longer friends, effective immediately. Effective immediately. My neighbor got a new truck. He got a Cadillac Escalade. And with his Cadillac Escalade, he got a hat that says Escalade. So now, even when he's not driving his truck, he can advertise to the whole world he's got a huge ego, a small penis, and most people think he's an asshole. That's awesome. This morning, my wife and I were out cleaning our garage, and he and his wife came across the street, and I knew something was up, because these aren't the type of people that would normally come talk to Mike and Jill Cole. Sure enough, within 30 seconds of small talk, it happens. She takes her hand out of her pocket and says, "Oh, Jill, do you see what Jim bought me? A 3-carat diamond ring." Now, folks, I've got 2 kids in college. I'm as likely to buy my wife a Boeing 747 as a 3-carat diamond ring. But I needed to save face. I felt bad for my wife, so I looked at Jim and I said, "Jim, tell me, was the affair worth it?" She goes, Mike. He didn't have an affair. He bought this for me because he loves me. I'm like, oh, Cindy. Men buy women presents for 3 reasons: birthdays, anniversaries, and guilt. And there are only 2 reasons that rise to the level of a 3-carat diamond ring: 50th wedding anniversary and torrid affair. And since you're 38 years old, by reason of deduction, I'm relatively certain he's fucking somebody at the office. Quite sure of that. Yes, I am. Yes, I
am. Comedy is not my full-time paying profession. Shocking, huh? What I do, not gag, is Ann Arbor police officer. All right, few fans, yeah. And I mentioned I'm from Pakistan, so whatever you think of my act, chances are I gotta be the only Pakistani police officer doing stand-up comedy in Grand Rapids. Got that going for me, yeah. Who looks like Johnny Mathis. All right, some of you know who Johnny Mathis is. Young people will have to Google him. But it's funny, I often don't mention that I'm a police officer at a comedy club because it seems like half the crowd has just smoked marijuana. Well, it might be more than half, huh? Anybody want to admit it? Did you? But not a big deal in Ann Arbor, right? Anybody know what the fine is? Oh, you must have paid it, huh? No? You got a warrant then? Actually, you're absolutely right. It's a $25 fine if you have marijuana in Ann Arbor. What's really funny there, though, is if you have cigarettes, possession of tobacco for someone under age 18 is a $100 fine. So we literally get these teenagers with cigarettes, but they're pleading with us. It's marijuana. Just to save $75. I'll do the math. I'm from Pakistan. And of course, anytime you take enforcement action, people always think it's because of their race or ethnicity. It's like the other day I pulled over this gentleman. Before I could get his license and registration, he started screaming at me that the only reason I'm stopping him is because he's Mexican. That was so unfair. He wouldn't even listen to this. Honest to the truth, I had no idea he was Mexican. Only reason I stopped him, I thought he was black. Oh, come on, Grand Rapids. That was not the only reason. He was with a white woman. Oh, lighten up. Actually, I think of taking that out. I don't want to offend anyone, but I think we're too politically correct, don't you? Yeah, I say have fun. Wasn't easy when I started. I'm not sure how the veteran officers did it, but they're rewired by siren. So whenever I go pull somebody over, instead of usual police whistle sound, it would go. Took me 2 weeks to learn to do that. I think it comes natural. It does not. I had to go to Dearborn. Oh, you've been to Dearborn, huh? Actually, one of the more fun things we did was whenever we pulled over or tried to arrest prostitutes, because you got to flirt with them and stuff. But I remember there was one, she had a really short mini skirt on, she was wearing crotchless panties. And she was like, "Hey, officer, you want some of this?" Of course, I was professional. I said, "No, I don't." She got offended. She's like, "Why, are you gay or something?" I said, "No, I just don't want any of that. I mean, look what it did to your panties." Besides, I could see her balls. I think she was from Ferndale. Or Ann Arbor. Alright, I'm kidding, I banged her. Alright, I gotta get out of here. I don't know if I do this, but you guys are so good supporting live comedy and stuff. People learn police officer, they always want to know, is there any way to defeat a breathalyzer test? Would you like to know? Yeah. Well, you gotta be more enthusiastic. You want to know? Alright, well what they're doing is they're looking for what's called the avuncular air. That's a true thing, it's the air deep in your lungs. So if you do not want it to register on the instrument, what's amazing, go ahead and take a deep breath, but then right before you blow out, that's amazing how quiet you guys are. You're listening like I'm about to tell you. If I knew, would I be in a free show? Huh? That's my time, I'm Coram Sheik. Thank you very much. Thank you.